Welcome to the Outdoor Adventure Lifestyle Podcast, where we dive into inspiring stories, thrilling adventures, and expert insights from leaders and legends across the outdoor adventure community. Whether you're an avid hiker, passionate camper, or adventure traveler, each episode brings you up close and personal with guests who've lived it, explored it, and made it their mission to share their experiences with you. Let's get after it. Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm talking with Karina Armijo from the New Mexico Outdoor Recreation Division. As Director of the Outdoor Recreation Division for the state of New Mexico, Karina is dedicated to advancing sustainable outdoor recreation opportunities that benefit communities, empower youth, and foster economic growth across the state. With over 28 years of experience in marketing, tourism, and strategic program development, she is passionate about supporting accessible, equitable outdoor experiences that connect people to the natural beauty of New Mexico. Welcome to the show, Karina.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun conversation. I say that at every one because I enjoy all of them, and they're all fun. Let's start with the big picture first, though. What's the vision behind the Trails and Grant program, and why is it such a game changer for New Mexico's outdoor recreation landscape?
We're Outdoor Recreation Trails Plus program, and we also have the Outdoor Equity Fund program. So two of our big programs underneath the division really meets the mission of our division, which in short is to increase equitable access to the outdoors for all New Mexicans. So we're really rooted in the idea that outdoor recreation should be accessible, community-driven, and really a catalyst for economic development. So in both of those programs, we invest in our youth and our outdoor infrastructure. And, by supporting the infrastructure specifically, we're ensuring that New Mexicans can benefit from time outside. So I think that it's a great program. We've moved a lot of money into it and all over New Mexico. So the game changer too is that we're in rural communities, tribal communities, not just the urban communities. So we're really focused on that increasing equitable access to the outdoors for everyone.
That's great. Yeah, and if you don't have the infrastructure, you can't go recreate, right? You got to have trails. Right. You got to have all that stuff built. Yeah, that's a smart approach. Yeah. And so by a lot of money, you guys have helped distribute over $26 million in grant funding to over 200 projects. That's amazing.
Yeah, and actually we just had another round that we announced. So for just the Trails Plus, $28.7 million for 221 projects. So yeah, and then we have another, probably another 10 million plus for next year. So yeah, it's fantastic. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Are there a couple that stand out to you as milestones or personal favorites?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
You got a lot of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some that are really exciting, and I'll just name a couple. The all-wheel bike park in Pickery's Pueblo. We gave them about $500,000 to finish this all-wheel bike park. And what's fantastic about this, it's in the middle of a beautiful area in rural New Mexico, northern New Mexico, and it blends in with the landscape, if you can imagine. And what's so great about it is it's not just for the Pickery's Pueblo tribal members, kids, but also for anyone else who wants to come there. And so you're seeing all these kids, jumping off of these. It's amazing to watch.
I'll bet.
With this background of beautiful mountains. So they've really recognized that they wanted to support their youth, and doing it with the all-wheel bike park was kind of a community-led approach as to how they wanted to focus on that. So really excited about that one. And then some that are a little different. We had the Trinity Turtle Healing Labyrinth in Alamogordo.
Oh, cool.
And this is supposed to be the largest permanent labyrinth in the United States. It's 40,000 square feet, and it's ADA accessible. And again, rural New Mexico, a community came together and wanted to do this, and it is quite an amazing feature.
I'll bet.
So I guess when we talk about Trails Plus, it's not just trail infrastructure. So we supported a nonprofit who applied for grants, a Trails Plus grant, and it was to expand the Adopt a Trail program. So it was really wonderful to see not only creating new trails, but maintaining existing trails and getting community to engage and support and really have pride and ownership to the trails, because we have a lot of trail maintenance to do across the state. So that's
I'll
a
bet.
really great program too.
Yeah. Maintenance is key. You got to keep that stuff all right and tight so people can use it. That's pretty cool. I was through New Mexico years ago. I don't remember if I was in this area, but there was some pretty cool stuff going on then. So it's good you guys are continuing to do all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
it's fun.
I bet. Yeah, I can imagine it's fun.
Mhm.
And before you work with the state, you were a creative force behind Taos Tourism. How has your experience marketing outdoor destinations shaped your approach to outdoor infrastructure and access?
Um, yeah, so I did 8 years at the local government and created their tourism and marketing department. And prior to that was, doing marketing and design for small businesses in this area. And what I found is like the kind of common link to the industries here, whether it's the arts and culture or the outdoor recreation, is nature. Nature
Hmm.
seems to be the driver for not only tourism, but these different waves of people coming in and out of New Mexico, from the art colony to ski pioneers and things like that. So it was really interesting and wonderful to understand how the outdoor recreation community works in a place that really relies on tourism and the ebbs and flows and the challenges. And it's so I think that was a really great understanding of how it works throughout the state. I
Hmm.
really got
Hmm.
a good view of in a small community, the really, really big effects of what the outdoor marketing the outdoor, what that means to these small businesses here.
Right, right.
Um, so yeah, so that was, and also I think understanding that the work that I did then was reflecting on the local identity, history, and the culture of the community.
Hmm.
So, and that's all wrapped up in the outdoors as well. Whether it's the Sakia community, the ag community, really understanding those stories
Hmm.
are super important. So, I got a kind of a micro view of that, and now I'm doing it for all of New Mexico.
You got a master's degree in it, and now you're doing it, got a PhD and doing it all over
Yeah,
the place. Yeah. Yeah,
that's
that's good
right.
experience too, because New Mexico, in my experience going through this, is made up of a lot of small little communities.
All so different.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Southern New Mexico. That's what I'm learning being the representative for the whole state. One, the state is huge,
yeah.
but there's all these really amazing nooks and crannies of little communities. And I love seeing that they're embracing outdoor recreation in the way that they want to embrace it. So, yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this next question, but how do you determine how these grants are awarded? Do people apply? How does that when you go evaluate? How does that work?
Yeah, well, we're constantly doing outreach. It's really important that while we're out all over the state, that we're having community discussions
Hmm.
with whether it's the local leaders there, government officials, or nonprofits, or even the private sector. So we're really intentional saying we have resources for you if this is what you want. So
Hmm.
one of the things that I try to make sure that people understand, we're not going to them saying you need to do this. They're
Right, right.
we're telling them we have these things, and we know that outdoor recreation is really a great way to look at your economic development and how you want to approach it. So we work with them, have a lot of conversations. Our team's priority is to make sure every grantee feels good about the application process. So we do a lot of pre-application support, host
Mhm.
workshops. We go to them and prioritize those partnerships and just community input. So, and we're also checking in with the team, making sure who benefits, who might be left out,
Mhm.
and trying to fill gaps if there are gaps. So we're a little bit nimble in that way. So every few months we're checking in, making sure, okay, how can we do this better. And we get a lot of input from the grantees. So we open up the applications twice a year, and usually by the time the application closes, we've touched on every grantee. We've had like a
Wow.
touch point with them, which is a lot of work, but it's our
Yeah. How
priority.
big is your team? That's a lot of work.
Yeah, we're at 4.
Wow.
um, but it's also really it's really fun part of the job to be able to have these
Hmm.
conversations and make sure that people understand what the best outcome is going to be, and they understand their outcomes. People get excited when they see money, but
Right, right.
we want to make sure it's being utilized effectively and for their community. Yeah.
They probably get even more excited when they see the, not even the end result, but the progress, right? Every stage of the project's got to be a little more exciting and motivating to keep them going because some of those projects take time and energy
Yep.
and effort, I'll bet. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we've seen grantees come back for their phase 1, 2, 3,
Right.
and that feels good for us as well when we
Yeah.
can do that ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's pretty exciting. Yeah. So you've lived and worked in northern New Mexico for decades. How has the outdoor recreation scene changed over that span of time?
Um, well, I was going to say, in general, New Mexico is a funny place. I always say everything has changed and everything has stayed the same. um,
I
it
think
has
all
a
small towns are like that.
Yeah, but special in the sense that time does slow down here, and that's part of the culture, and that's what's wonderful about it. But
Mhm.
what's exciting about outdoor recreation is seeing the focus on this industry. It was prioritized. It has been prioritized at the national, state, and now local levels. In 2019, our governor identified outdoor recreation as one of the 9 target industries to diversify the economy here in New
Mm.
Mexico.
Mm.
And since then, the division was established, the funding was established, and we've seen New Mexico has grown to be a $3.2 billion industry. So when you see those numbers and you see a real big effort at the state government level, and then you also see legislators consistently putting money in the budget for us to do these programs, that really resonates at the local level.
Hmm.
And that commitment to the industry, they feel good about also committing to the industry.
Right.
So it provides energy, enthusiasm, and that commitment to investing in recreation in all, whether it's the urban areas, the rural communities, or the tribes, nations, and pueblos. So that collective energy and creativity and commitment is to outdoor rec is exciting, and that's to me. I'm not seeing that slow down in the sense of like as all these crazy things are happening in our world.
Right.
Outdoor,
That's good.
yeah, outdoor rec just feels well. It's where you want to be, right, outside
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
nature.
Hmm.
So hopefully we can continue with that commitment moving forward.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we all want to do, and one million ways to play and recreate outside, but we all want to be outside. So that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it looks like the collaboration that you guys are doing is really got to be motivating not only to the locals but to the government and the nonprofits as well, because that everybody's working together to create what they want, as opposed to some other entity coming in and building this thing and then leaving. That's pretty good,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I mean, even the whole mission in the division is really a community first approach.
Hmm.
Um, Collaboration is everything, and our grant programs often act as a convener,
Mm.
bringing together all of these governments, nonprofits, and even private landowners. And some of the most successful projects have kind of braided funding sources, local input, and the stewardship commitments. So I don't know, we're not just funding trail infrastructure or outdoor youth programming, but we're building coalitions, and
Right.
we're hoping that we're going to actually make those more in stone, basically, for the different regions that we have, so that we can go to each region and have these like great outdoor rec coalitions. But I can touch on one example
Yeah.
that I think is a really great example of these collaborations and coalitions. And we really, really love to see this type of stuff. Sabinosa Wilderness is a 30,000 acre wilderness in the north east part of New Mexico. and it had limited public access. Really, I believe there was only one access to the wilderness. So you had this
Wow.
really amazing wilderness, but it was surrounded by private land.
Mm.
So then the Trust for Public Lands acquired about 10,000 acres, donated it to BLM. And then between Trust for Public Lands, BLM, State Land Office, New Mexico Wildlife Federation, they all got together and they worked on easements. They worked on getting permission from private landowners. They worked with the county to create a rerouting of some of the, or basically creating a trailhead, a road, a parking area,
Oh, cool.
and a wilderness trail that we funded. And it was great because when they came to the table, when they came to us, they had already worked on creating this amazing collaboration. So you didn't have to ask, like, okay, who's going to come out
Right.
against? They had already done all that work. And again, private landowners, county was involved, BLM, federal, state, really wonderful. And so they're moving in this, again, meeting our mission, which is, improving or access to these beautiful areas in New Mexico. So that one we're really proud of, and I think that one's hopefully going to have a ribbon cutting in the next year.
Well, that's exciting. That's a great boots on the ground story. That's awesome teamwork by the community, and you rarely see that these days, like we were saying.
That's right.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. We're going to take a little break and give some love to our sponsor, Thrive Market. Think organic groceries are too expensive? So does Thrive Market. They guarantee savings on healthy groceries and home essentials delivered. How? It's easy. They work directly with the best organic brands so you get the highest quality products without the big retail markups. Shop everything from pantry essentials to sustainable meat and seafood to non-toxic cleaning supplies. And save up to 30% on your favorite products. Choose a free gift up to $24 in value when you purchase a Thrive Market membership. 1 year and 1 month memberships are available. Go to ricksays.com/Thrive Market and get your membership today. That's ricksays.com/Thrive Market. Now, back to the show. And do you get to go to these projects, most of them, or is that kind of not all of them?
Not most.
All of them.
We try between the 4 team members that we have. It's imperative that we do go and do site visits and things like that.
Yeah.
As the director, I get to do the ribbon cuttings, which is exciting.
Nice. That's good.
But when I first started this job, I went to the Boot Heel region of New Mexico, and they had official designation of Hidalgo County as a gateway community for the Continental Divide National Scenic Trail.
Yeah.
I drove for hours. I'd never actually been to that part of New Mexico way down south. And it was really wonderful because we had given money for Trails Plus and some outdoor equity, but this official gateway community designation is really, really significant milestone for the region, for economic development opportunities and to get these hikers. I mean, there's just thousands and thousands of hikers that come through, and now they have a reason to come to this small community. And then you'll see, businesses grow from that. And I went to that ribbon cutting and the pride behind all the work, because it had taken a really long time to get these places designated. So they're now one of 20 communities under the designation. So stuff like that is really important to me, to be able to see the efforts, the patience, the ebbs and flows. And then at the end, you're seeing something really fantastic happen. And we were a part of, a little bit part of that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. My grandfather used to live in Anthony, New Mexico. Anthony, I think he actually lived on the Texas side. That apparently Anthony is half in New Mexico, half in Texas.
That's
and I got to go down there and visit him one time. Yeah, it's beautiful down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your background includes time at Los Alamos and running a creative agency. How does your mix of science, design, and community engagement come into play in your role? Seems like it's a pretty good background.
Yeah, so I received my Bachelor of Science in Design, and Los Alamos is what brought me to New Mexico when I did a paid internship there. And basically, I was I don't know what I would tell my mom because she didn't understand what graphic design was. I was a
My
visual
parents didn't
problem.
understand what recreation was. I got a degree in outdoor
Yeah.
recreation. They're like, what?
Yeah. I still get that,
Yeah,
What
yeah, yeah.
exactly. I was a visual problem solver, is what I say when I say graphic design. And I
Mm,
had an amazing opportunity to work for the communications department at the labs in Los Alamos. And what I got out of it, well, one, this was in the mid '90s, and they encouraged me to learn HTML coding
mm,
when not many people even knew what the internet was.
right.
And so I had a kind of a head start when I transferred when I moved to Taos, working for these small businesses. There were very few people who even knew what a website was. So I took my graphic design skills and was able to translate that to web development and marketing and things like that. And I think the common theme was problem solving,
Hmm.
understanding everyone's story, whether it's translating how scientists share a new discovery that they're working on, or a small startup in Taos wanting to create a marketing a new product, or a community wanting to become an official main street, which is what I helped do when I was at the town of Taos.
Mm,
It's really listening, translating their stories into a language, whether it's visual or creating a program that resonates with the target audience or the audience they're wanting to share their story, product, or program, or even an event. Um, so I think that was kind of the common theme that really helped me is just, well, one, the listening part. You have to really
mm,
be
yeah,
able
that's
to,
huge. Yeah.
yeah. And when you speak to scientists, to me, that was
Yeah.
really interesting because my brain was hurting because I didn't understand what they were saying. And then when I got the aha moment, I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I can translate what you're trying to
Right.
communicate
Right.
into layman's terms in that case. Um, but also, I think what was super helpful was starting in federal government and
Mm,
then going into the private sector and then going into local government and now in state government. I think people get a little turned off by government. And I actually find the challenges to be really interesting
mm,
because in the private sector, you have a problem, you solve it. It's based on your hard work and you're just like point A to point B.
mm.
But in government, you're trying to accomplish things, but the road might be a little bit more zigzag
Yeah, and
because
there's a
of
lot of
the
and that it zigzags through all these different stakeholders, right? That you may not
exactly
may somebody might pop in at the end. You didn't even see that coming. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get discouraged and like, "Oh, I can't deal with the
Right.
bureaucracy," thing. But to me, I find it to be kind of like hiking a mountain,
Hmm.
switchbacks. You're
Hmm. Hmm.
once you get to the top, or once you say, "Oh my gosh, we did it! We managed to, move $10 million in 12 months to significant programming," or
Right.
we ended up, officially designating a community as a main street, or whatever that thing was. It feels like a more important accomplishment
Hmm.
because you did it within these rules that you may have not agree with,
Right. Right.
but they're there, and until they're changed, it's just more of it's just a challenge that I find interesting. So
That's huge because that's a big part of it. I'm sure you deal with that stuff, part of that stuff every day, sometimes
yeah,
all day.
every
Yeah.
minute of the day.
Yeah. I had a friend work for the Forest Service in the Inyo, and I would go up to the Bishop area and stay with them a lot, and she'd come home and just have these stories. It's just like it's a giant puzzle every day. That's
Every
amazing.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. And we work under the Economic Development Department. And I think a lot of different departments run a little bit differently. Some of them are
Mm,
just
yeah.
really impossible. I've heard stories, so I think we're a little more fortunate. But again, I feel like it's a fun job. Outdoor recreation industry is fun, and
Hmm.
so just trying to get to the finish line on all of these, it just feels really good at the end.
I bet. Yeah, you get to see everybody enjoying what's your stuff you guys created. Yeah, that's cool. So when you're not behind a desk or in a strategy session, you're outside trail running or learning to fly fish. How does your personal connection to the outdoor space influence the work you do?
I love being outside. It's helps my brain. I'm
Yeah.
the most happiest when I'm disconnected, and obviously that's where the creativity and comes. What I think it's interesting about the love of being outside and how it relates to my work is that I think when we're doing programming for youth, one of the big things, or even the programming for the Trails Plus, is our work of trying to get folks outside who have never been outside or don't feel comfortable outside, and trying to remember what that feels like when you're on a new trail or you're doing a new outdoor rec activity. That all the things that come with it, the fear, I'm not sure I'm going to make it, or like I don't know what I'm doing, and
Right.
and trying to put yourself in those spaces so that you can relate to the youth or the first time folks who haven't had access to the outdoors. So to me, that's that making sure that I'm always outside trying to learn new things so that I can relate to the work that we're doing at the division.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, that helps you guys create better areas too, better spaces for people to go recreate because you're trying to do it all yourself. That's smart.
Yeah.
At least learn a little bit of it because there's so many outdoor recreation things to do. I mean,
Oh gosh, yeah.
it's great.
Well, when I saw the all-wheel bike park in Pickeries, it was a whole language in itself that I'm not going to even try to speak. I don't know what these jumps are called and the different types of bikes and all that.
Right.
And that's just one of, so many different types of outdoor recreation opportunities.
It's amazing. So, walk us through all wheel. Does that mean skateboards to bicycles, everything in between?
Yeah, BMX as well. And
BMX,
yeah, so I think there's different areas that for certain, like skateboarders or things like that. So it's huge. I can't remember the acreage on it, but
wow.
Yeah, so all wheels.
Yeah. That's a lot of folks. So looking ahead to fiscal 2026, when your applications reopen, what advice would you give to small towns or organizations dreaming up a project, hoping to tap into trails and support?
Well, I would say contact us at the Outdoor Recreation Division if you have any questions and share ideas and stuff. By the time you get to us, though, you should have shared your ideas, engaged with your community on some level, because we're going to tell you to do that anyway. Think about what you already have and how you can improve on it, what's missing, and then provide and just understand that it's really, really important to have community buy-in, whether it's improving on a trailhead near a subdivision or, putting a skate park or something like that, those partnerships are really, really, really important. So the hope is that by the time you come to us, you already have some of those relationships already built, and then we'll help you if you have any questions on that way before you even apply, because we might tell you you're not quite ready yet. You need some things. But yeah, talking to your elected officials and again, partnerships are super key.
And how do they reach you? How do they contact you?
They can go to nmoutside.com and all of our contact information is there. And you can also see we have a grants database that highlights all of our grants.
Cool.
So you can see a little blurb of all of the different programs that we've and projects that we've funded, and that can really be really effective just to see.
That can spark some ideas. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So let's go to a couple of easier questions here. What's one of your favorite books?
Oh gosh, that one's hard because I read a lot and I go through.
I don't have one, right?
And I have these different, sometimes it's all political or sometimes it's all self-help. But the one that comes to mind, because it's rare that I'll pick up a book more than once, but there are a few that really stand out. And the one that I'm picking up again is The Comfort Crisis.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, by Michael Easter. And the full title is Embrace Discomfort to Reclaim Your Wild, Happy, Healthy Self. And really it's about being uncomfortable is a good thing. And he uses a lot of, science and storytelling, which is wonderful. But he talks about being outside and doing those things, being cold,
Right, right.
being, just like being out of your
Exhausted.
comfort zone. Yeah. And I think we live in a society that caters to providing more and more comfort to people,
Mm-hmm,
like not
mm-hmm.
even vacuuming yourself. You have like a little robot to vacuum or,
Right.
but it almost too easy where we forget that being uncomfortable and being in those like stress places, just like I said before, climbing a mountain or going down a
Right.
river
Mm-hmm.
where you're scared, but once you're done and you reach that end point, you feel amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that power of discomfort really allows you to improve on your mental health, on your physical well-being, um, on adventure seeking, like all these different things. So the Comfort Crisis is really wonderful. He has a second book that I haven't read yet, but this one was written in 2021 and I read it during COVID and it was really helpful. So I'm rereading the
Yeah,
Comfort
good
Crisis
time.
just to
Yeah.
remind myself I need to be uncomfortable in those spaces.
Yeah. If you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you can pretty much do anything.
That's right.
That's
right.
what I think. Yeah. I'll have to pick that up. That's a good one. And do you have a favorite piece of outdoor gear that's always with you or on your runs or fly fish
That's
gear?
funny. That's funny. When I was thinking about that, um, I would say the thing that I feel like I need all the time before I leave my house when I'm going in the outdoors is my favorite hat.
Yeah.
And the favorite hat, I wear it so much that I have another favorite. Like every like year, I have a new favorite hat.
Yeah.
And I think it represents certain chapters in my life, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And the hat that I'm wearing now is from Soka trout fly fishing from Slovenia. It's a friend of mine who went fly fishing in Slovenia and gave that to me when he came back. And it's sort of telling me this is the one that is the go fish chapter of my life. So
Oh, I like it. Cool. How do you spell Soka?
Soca, and the C has some sort of accent that
Oh, a
I'm
little tilde thing or
familiar with.
something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check
So
that out.
yeah. So you know how it is. You find something really
Oh, yeah.
comfortable
Mm-hmm.
hat. You can't just wear any hat.
That's right. That's right. I have quite the collection of hats, as all of us outdoor people do when we try to stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. This is great. I've listened to a lot of your guests and super fun to hear personal stories of
Yeah. Yeah.
people in
Thanks.
the outdoors. So I
Anything you want to
appreciate
say to our audience as we wrap up?
get outside.
That's it. Perfect. Yep. That's a good
Get
one. Yeah.
outside. Yeah. I think it solves a lot of problems. So get uncomfortable.
There you go. Get uncomfortable. I like it. Yeah. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Lifestyle Podcast. Be sure to visit our website, ricksays.com, where you'll find show notes and links to everything we talked about and more. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, give us a rating on Apple Podcast or spread the word and tell a friend. That would really help us out too. Be sure to tune in every week, and thanks again for listening to the Outdoor Adventure Lifestyle Podcast.